So I'm going to leave my mask on, but I have a loud voice, so I'm going to assume you can hear me. Just let me know if you can't.
Thank you. As Senator Thomas tells me, sometimes it's the pitch in the voice because he's very deep and is muffled by his mask.
Yeah, I think I'll be good there.
So
Chairman Cooley, Vice Chair Huffman, Ranking Member Craig, and members of the Senate Government Oversight Committee, thank you for allowing me to testify. I definitely submitted my testimony later last night, and so I'm sure your staffers didn't get in time, so genuinely I am grateful to be able to testify here today. My name is Alaina Swope. I'm a community organizer, an educator, and a nominee for state representative in Muskingum and Guernsey counties. I guess I'm just here today, though, as a private citizen. And I just want to talk about the economic situation of my hometown, Zanesville, because the language we're using as minimum burden of a stamp has important implications to the people of my community. So I'm from a place called Zanesville, Ohio, which is a wonderful city with a rich history. It's a city bursting with potential, yet almost a third of us live below the poverty line. It's a city divided in resources between the housing-rich north end and the neglected south end. And we've been neglected for a long time, long before COVID, which has only put gas on the flames of issues we've already been facing for decades. We don't have good jobs, we don't have affordable housing, several of us don't even have internet access. And during this public health crisis, I believe it is the duty of our General Assembly and our Secretary of State to make it substantially easier to vote. Yet I stand today before legislators who have somehow found the will to make it harder for Ohioans to vote safely in November. Beyond being unethical to charge citizens a poll tax to vote, it's also based on the wrong assumption that our citizens have internet access to get a file for an absentee ballot request form, that they have a printer to print the form, that they have the extra money to afford postage to send it in. And like the woman who testified before me, it's not really just a 55-cent stamp in a lot of situations. If you can't go to the post office, you're buying a book of stamps. That adds more bills to your grocery bills. And if we're talking to someone who is not sure how they're going to pay rent next month, like I'm sorry, I don't have the statistic in front of me, but it was somewhere upwards of 500,000 Ohioans were not sure how they're going to pay rent next month. How are we expecting them to be able to afford a book of stamps to use their right to vote? No voter should have to pay any amount to participate in our democracy. And so I came here today I want to just ask you to remove the House Bill 680 language, banning prepaid return postage on absentee ballots, and remove language from current laws that bans boards of elections from prepaying return postage. I would love to see absentee ballot requests happen online. I believe that the technology already exists. And I think I'll leave you with that today. And again, I thank you for allowing me to testify, and I welcome any questions.
So I take it that Chair's at a little loss here. You're saying that people who don't have internet access also don't have stamps?
It's
I just want to make sure I understand that. Oh no, everything's possible. So I mean, so we can't do things that involve internet and stuff because of the digital divide and that, and we can't do anything that requires somebody to spend 55 cents on a stamp. But what do we do, like if they want to go, do we have to transport them to the Board of Elections? Because if they don't have 55 cents, they definitely don't have bus fare, cab fare, or gas money.
I think that's fair. Yeah. I think the big picture I'm looking at is mailing every voter an absentee ballot request form that's prepaid. And the ballot we send them should also be prepaid with postage. And I'm asking you to remove the language on this bill that prevents the Secretary of State from paying that postage.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure I was clear.
I appreciate the clarification.
Any questions?
Question.